Okay. I'm going to try to make this as quick as I can, but this is the tutorial on how I made the gift box that I showed at the beginning of the video when it came on. So people ask me how I make it. I actually found this file in one of the groups that I am in on Facebook. It is, I don't know if you can see the name. Hold on. There we go. But it is Silhouette Cameo Fun Project Inspiration. It's a group that I'm in. And I just went to files because so many people are doing them. And actually, I believe that the group has a video on how to do it. But people were asking me specifically how I had done that Paw Patrol box. I just went to files and clicked on files and searched for 12 by 12 box. I scrolled through till I found it. It brought up this post here, and it actually has the file for you to be able to download, and I downloaded it. When it opened in my Silhouette software, this is what I had. It's just very plain and basic. It says top plane, bottom plane. Bottom's real easy. You do have to group. I'll show you. So if I move, oh, well, that one's already grouped together. Maybe not. Okay, so when you get the file, you do have to group it together. So see, when I move this part of the box, it leaves your perforation marks here. So what you want to do is to go ahead and group that together. That way, when you move it over to your mat, so the bottom's pretty simple. You're just going to place it on your mat, send it to your Silhouette, and this is how it's going to cut. It cuts very small lines out of each corner here so that when you bend it and fold it on the perforated lines to put it together. So I'll show you how I did the box. And I think I'm going to try to, I'm just going to group this together for just a second so I can move it to the mat, because I think you can see better if I work on the mat. I'm just going to drag it over. Okay. So I downloaded the image that I wanted. Actually, when this downloaded, he was actually facing this way. Well, I actually wanted him facing toward the inside of the box, so I just flipped him horizontally. So what I did is I kind of shrunk him down till I felt like I had him about the size that I wanted him, and that's about good. So what we need to do now is we're going to have to trace him in order to get an offset on him, because if we do the offset now, it's just going to offset the square that's around him. So I'm going to go to select trace area, and I kind of move the threshold up just a little bit. You probably don't have to, as long as everything is, there you go, is traced around him. Because what we want to do is we actually just want to trace the outer edge. Okay, so if you see that, it's traced the outer edge. So what we're going to do now is we need to put an offset on this part that we've traced here. That way it increases it a little bit, because you want to have a cardstock background behind that. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to go over to my offset button. It's like a star with an outline on it. Hit offset, and then you can control that offset. And I think for him, it automatically puts it at 0.125. I took it to 140. Okay, so now we don't need the inside anymore. So we're going to remove that, and then he should sit right in there. And that way, whatever your color your top is cut in, it's going to have that little bit of border behind him. Now, in order to get this welded here on the box, I'll show you. Okay, so see how I don't have that group together. So I moved the box and it still leaves your perforation marks. That's how you have to weld it. If you group this together and you weld your image to that box, it's going to take away those perforation lines. So do not weld it. Or do not group it. Here, let me show you real quick. So if I group that, now if I put him here, hit him, and then you're going to hit your shift key, and I hit the box, and now I go and weld him. You see those perforation lines are now solid lines. So you want to make sure that that is not grouped together. So let's see, let's ungroup it. Okay, so it's ungrouped. So now when I bring him over here, I set him where I want him. You have to make sure that, you know, everywhere you want attached to that lid is touching. So I'm going to hit my offset, shift key, hit that box, and weld. You see my perforation lines are still there. Now, this image here, I actually did a print and cut. So once I print and cut him, then he fit perfectly there. The only other thing that I did on this was the actual happy birthday. So I just typed happy birthday. And then you need to change it to the font you want. My absolute favorite font is called Milkshake. I use it for a lot of stuff. Okay. I am going to move this up so I can increase it so I can show you. So now we need to weld all of these letters together. Now, in order for it to weld, they all have to be touching. So my B is not touching. So what I need to do is I need to ungroup. Now I can freely move these letters how I want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my B over until it's touching that I. Perfect. Now I can actually weld all that. Hold on, let's try that again. Okay. So now I can actually weld that together. And that will cut in one word minus your dot there. And then the happy is already, everything is already touching. So we'll go ahead and weld that together. That will print in one word. Now, because I've got to stretch this out and I've got to get an offset on it, what I want to do now is I want to group all this wording together because it will cut as one. So I'm going to group it. And then I'm going to go over and offset it. And that offset actually comes out pretty big. So if you wanted the background a little wider than that, then again, you can go up. So like I hit it going up just a little bit, but I actually like where it is. So now I can actually, I'm going to go up just a little more because I don't like how that is there. So we can, okay. There we go. So now I can actually move this out because this is going to be cut in a different color because you want it to be contrasted there. So now I'm going to move this over. Let's get this out of our way. So now I'm going to move this over. Never does what you want it to do. I might need to. Okay. So now my happy birthday, this is where I had it up here. Now, you cannot resize this without the actual wording be there because then it will not sit proper inside of your lettering. So where I have that now, I'm pretty good with that. So again, I'm going to click it. I'm going to hit my shift button, click somewhere on that box, and I am going to weld it. And now you see that is how it's going to cut when it cuts out on your box. And this will sit perfectly inside of it. Okay. And then the last thing was I put the name of the person it was for. Okay. So I'm going to change this to my milkshake. I'm going to weld him together. Okay, and now I am going to group it because I want my eye to stay with it. And then actually, I think that's going to be good. So I'm just going to leave that sitting here. And I'm going to offset from here. And we went up a little bit. Now, I'm actually going to move Julian out. I'm going to position this where I want it to be on the box. I think that's good. I'm going to click on it, shift key. Check my box. I don't know if it did it. So hit, shift, and weld. So now everything is where we want it. I'm just going to add some color to these letters so you can kind of see. So that would fit perfectly there once it's cut. Same with your happy birthday. And that would just kind of go there. And then you're going to do a print and cut on your dog. And he's going to sit right there. And then that's what the top of that box look like. So what I'm going to do is I'll pause it. I'm going to go ahead and send this to my Silhouette and cut it so you can see what it's going to look like once it's cut. And then kind of how to put it together real quick. Okay, so I've taken it off my mat and I've just got it folded at all the perforation marks. I will tell you this, it is a lot easier when you apply your wording and your pictures. If you're putting those on there, it's going to be a lot easier to do that when it's flat. So then after I cut this, I just cut out my happy birthday in whatever color I wanted. I use a spray adhesive, stick it right on there. I do a print and cut for the dog. That way it has all your colors and you don't have to layer it. And he would fit here, and then the same for the name here. So once you get all your perforation marks folded, and I did not use 65 pound weight. So this one's kind of flimsy, but so to attach a corner, you're just going to fold it in, fold it up, and that's how it attaches. So you're going to do that for all 4 of your corners until you have a complete square on it. And then it fits perfectly over your bottom. Your bottom will assemble the same way. Okay. But that is how I did it. So I just really wanted to show the process of actually welding your offsets in to put your pictures and wording on there. Now on the inside of mine, I just use transparency paper, acetate paper. I had some on hand that I use when I make my screens for screen printing, so I just took a piece of that and cut it and laid it right inside my box. But that is how I did it.